Let's move on to talk about the Forbes billionaire list was released a few days ago, and it's pretty interesting. We can go through it. So there's some Bernard Arnault is now the richest man in the world. He replaced Elon Musk. And if you don't know, he owns a load of luxury brands. I think you know the ones he owns, Mike.
Yeah,
Louis
Louis
Vuitton.
Vuitton, Dior, and Tiffany. And I mean, he didn't just overturn, he's $30 billion ahead of Elon. Like, wow.
Right.
You
So
know,
yeah, his wealth, he added $53 billion to his wealth in the past 12 months, which is actually the biggest gain of any billionaire ever. So it's a record-breaking overtake of Elon Musk.
yeah. What did he do last year that made it such a big difference?
Well, I think it's just sales at his brands have been sky high. That could also be because of all the money that has been pumped into the economy with the stimulus and stuff. Everyone's using their remaining stimulus money to buy luxury handbags and stuff.
Everybody's going to buy a Louis Vuitton bag with a Tiffany bracelet. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I was looking at Louis Vuitton like a year ago, and I thought, I was worth $75 billion or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I thought that's a lot of money for a luxury brand. But
I
clearly,
mean, I use my stimulus money back during COVID to go on vacation to Mexico. So, I didn't really need it. They were just giving it to us. So, all right, $5,000. I'll go on vacation to Cancun. No, what was it? No, Los Cabos.
now we pay for it with inflation, Ben. Now we pay for it with inflation.
That's true. That's true. But anyway, yeah. So he overtook Elon Musk, but Elon Musk actually he lost 39 billion. Compared to a year ago because of the tanking price of Tesla stock, which is largely due to his Twitter takeover because, he obviously sold a lot of Tesla stock in order to buy Twitter. And a lot of Twitter shareholders were not really that pleased with, just the whole idea of him buying Twitter anyway. And actually, the news broke, I think it was this morning, that the Tesla board has now put stricter requirements on loans that Elon can take against Tesla stock. So they're limiting him to $3.5 billion worth of loans using his Tesla stock as collateral. There was already a 25% requirement. He could only take 25 loans against 25% of the stock he owned. But now they've added in 3.5 billion as the maximum dollar amount. So whichever is smaller, obviously 3.5 billion is going to be smaller because he owns a huge amount of the stock. So yeah, that's kind of how they're reining him in because of what's happened with him buying Twitter and that kind of tanking the stock.
And well, he also had Tesla shoot up to $700 a share at one point, right? So that's almost 3 times where it's sitting today.
And I mean, if you look at that compared to like the pre-split price, it would have been like 2,500 or something.
Right.
They split like twice or something. So
yeah,
I remember buying it at like $100 a share or $200 a share in like 2017, and or 2017. And I think the price now compared to then would be like $5,000 a share if you were going with pre-split, something around there.
No, it's definitely interesting to think about. The gap between Jeff Bezos to Bernard is almost $100 billion.
Right. So yeah, Jeff Bezos is number 3, and he also lost a lot of money, 57 billion. So
Whoa.
Yeah, he lost 57 billion, and that's also a record loss. Okay, so he's 57 billion poorer due to the decline in Amazon stock, which, to be honest, I think with this one, it's kind of understandable because Amazon stock did really go sky high during the pandemic because everyone was ordering stuff on Amazon.
Right.
And now the pandemic's over. It's just sort of like, well, obviously Amazon stock's just going to come back down because people are going to physical stores again. So I don't think it's necessarily really that Amazon's done badly. It's just natural that that would happen. All right. Because they had this huge catalyst for growth. And now they've had to scale it back.
They're laying off people too, left and right. I mean, and there's also competition now with Walmart Plus.
Walmart Plus.
That's legitimate competition because you can be an independent seller on Walmart Plus just like you can on Amazon.
Yeah. Yes, and the subscription now comes as standard with the Amex Platinum card. So anyone who has the Amex Platinum automatically gets Walmart Plus membership.
Really?
Yes.
I,
Do you have the
I,
Amex Platinum?
I do.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, there you go. You know what I find it useful for is for gas. If you go to Mobil or Exxon, you get and you pay through the Walmart Plus app, you get 10 cents off per gallon just for being a
Really?
member. Yeah, yeah. So I always use it. That's how I do it now.
So
Yeah.
if I have like a Delta Sky Miles Amex Platinum, does that work? Or does it have to be
Not the Sky Miles one. The actual
that has to be the
one.
actual Amex one?
The one. This one.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. It's got to
Yeah.
be through Amex without any additional.
Not co-branded. No. Yeah.
Right. Okay. That's good to
But
know.
it's a good benefit, and it's probably eating into Amazon's market share. Walmart Plus being promoted, and Walmart Plus just added Paramount Plus as well. So you've got like a streaming, because you know how Amazon Prime, you get Amazon Prime Video. Well,
Right.
now with Walmart Plus, you get the Paramount Plus streaming service, which has a lot of good shows on it as well. So
I pay for Paramount Plus myself right now. So
I pay for it too, even though I have the Amex Platinum. I need to cancel my subscription so that just get it for free.
yeah, you got to kind of juggle it all around. I was telling my wife the other day, I was like, hey, can you go over here and put Hulu Plus and ESPN Plus and Disney all on the one
Disney
thing?
bundle.
Yeah,
that's the Disney bundle.
So, we put all of them together. I watch all this stuff because I work with Rise TV, so I'm constantly watching different streaming platforms and all the above. So it's pretty interesting to think about all,
So Jeff Bezos, anyway, which is what we were talking about before I went into credit cards, which I could talk about all day. But so he stepped down as Amazon CEO, I think it was last year, and he's focusing on philanthropy and his $500 million super yacht, which I think is quite interesting to talk about, because he's built this yacht, the Koru, or commissioned it to be built. And you can pull it up, Don. Yeah, there it is. So we can scroll through some of the pictures of it, because it's a pretty cool looking boat.
Ridiculous.
It's huge, right? Take a look through the article, because there's some more pictures of it. I think start at the top and keep going and go down. So it's based on the design of this one here, the Black Pearl, which is this 3-sail one. That's not his yacht, but that's another one that the design is based on.
It's a sailing yacht.
So it has 3 masts. Well, obviously it has engines, but it has 3 masts, and it can have sails put on it. This one is another one that he chartered a while back. But keep going down. So there's this funny story about the Rotterdam Bridge, because it was built in the Netherlands, right? And there's this bridge that, in order to get the yacht out of the shipyard where it was built, it had to go under this bridge. But the masts were too tall to make it under the bridge. So Jeff Bezos actually offered the city of Rotterdam to pay to have the bridge dismantled. Okay, Jeff Bezos was going to have to pay to have this bridge taken apart. And initially the city said yes. But after the public found out about it, there were protests, and basically the public threatened to throw eggs at his yacht as it went past. So so basically the city then backtracked and said, okay, we're not going to let you pay to have the bridge taken apart. Instead, the company making his yacht just took the yacht on a different route, which was twice as long, with the masts unattached, to make it out of the shipyard.
Yeah,
so I think it's
that's crazy. I mean,
yeah,
it's a sailboat. This
is.
How do you? I mean, I've been on some big sailboats. I can't even think about how you would manage to put it all together and hoist the sails and sure. I'm sure it's all automatic. Obviously, it's ran by motors.
That's not it there. Yeah, but skip a little forward in the video. You'll be able to see it a little further along. I think this is it. Yeah, there we go. So it is sizable, and those masts are like 200 feet or something, 230 feet, I think they are. And the whole thing's $500 million. So it is pretty impressive. I wonder how much he's actually going to use it as a sailboat versus just using engines, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't use it as a sailboat at all.
Yeah, I mean, the sails and the masks might just be for show, just to to look good.
Right. The Black Pearl.
The Black Pearl. Yeah. So anyway, that's what he's been focusing on. And then the number 5. Okay, number 5. This is the last one we're going to go on because I'm not going to give you all 10, but the Forbes. We are, in case you forgot what we're talking about the Forbes billionaires list, the Forbes rich list for 2023. Larry Ellison, the chairman of Oracle, he actually climbed 4 spots this year or last year to get to number 5. And that's really impressive because it's actually been a tough year for the tech industry. He's the chairman of Oracle, which is a tech company. So yeah, he climbed 4 spots, which is pretty impressive.
It puts Larry Ellison at number 4 on this list.
Number 4. Okay, I forgot where I was in the list. Warren Buffett is number 5. So Larry Ellison, number 4. And yeah, he's the chairman, former CEO of Oracle. And yeah, it's pretty. He bought one of Florida's most expensive homes as well last year, which is $173 million.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's doing well. And then, of course, we have Warren Buffett at number 5, which, he's just there chugging along. He's always in there somewhere. He's like 92 years old now, isn't he? Yeah, 92.
Yeah, he's not going to retire. I'm determined that for sure.
I don't think so, no.
We should do a video on what's the most ridiculous things that the top 5 billionaires have bought.
Right, yeah, Jeff Bezos would be easy. I mean, he's got his yacht. He's also got 2 jets, 2 private, not 1, but 2 private jets. And they're sizable as well. He's also got rockets, obviously, because he has a space company.
Yeah, well, and it said Ellison right there owns the Lanai, the island in Hawaii. That's a big island.
Okay,
that's
cool.
So, and I know Zuckerberg, did he make the list?
He's further down the list, yeah. Although he lost a lot of his wealth when Facebook stock tanked, although it has been coming back up. So he's definitely been gaining, but he lost a lot.
I feel like Facebook has a good position with Meta. They're definitely, positioned strongly in the next 2 years.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's interesting. He started that whole metaverse thing when the metaverse was kind of exploding, but then with the whole crypto crash, it seemed as if he had made a massive error because they spent so much money. They spent billions of dollars on metaverse development, and then people were criticizing the so-called Facebook metaverse thing. It looked like garbage.
Yeah, it's pretty. I've played around on it. I mean, it's pretty interesting.
How do you go on it though? Like, how do you go on Facebook's metaverse?
Oh, you gotta use the Oculus, and then you go to the Facebook. It's not Facebook, but the Oculus app for the metaverse. I think it's called the Worldverse or something. But it's pretty interesting. I was watching a basketball game a few weeks ago, and I was courtside, and it was pretty cool.
So like you could actually look. They had a 360 camera courtside, and you could like look around. That's cool.
You could look around. You could walk around the stadium. You could do all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
So yeah, you can actually watch games live, which I thought was a good feature. But I was watching it with my son, and he had one, and I have one, and it was a pretty interesting experience. I'm strong proponent of the financial returns that are going to come with the metaverse.
Yeah, that's the first feature I've heard of that actually sounds useful, because courtside seats are what, like $5,000 or something?
Yeah, they're ridiculous. But not only that, the education stuff too. So if you want to be homeschooled, but you want to actually be in the school, you could put on the actual Oculus and go to school. So there are some apps that are coming out that are involving training courses with the Oculus. One of them is called Retreat. And so there's a few different things working there.
Only thing is, though, you wouldn't want to be wearing that all day, every day, right? For 6 hours or something.
There's rumors Apple's coming out with their own version of the VR set. And as you know, Apple, when they release a product that's completely new that they've never released before, is typically a game changer in that space, especially with hardware like the iPhone, the iWatch, the iPod, the iPad. Those are all game changers. They change technology forever. So it's interesting. Yeah, I guess there's a bunch of people there.
They could call it the Apple Eye. Just
Apple Eye.
It's like your eye, or the eye, the IEYE.
Yeah, who knows what they're gonna call it? I mean, we all thought it was gonna be the iWatch, right?
Right, but it was the Apple Watch.
Ooh. They changed the game. So Yeah, I mean, I was surprised Zuck wasn't even in the top 10. Carlos Slim, he's still up there.
Yep.
So, he controls pretty much all the telecom world in South America and Mexico. So, those are radio towers and things like that.
Yeah.
So
Wasn't he at one time? Wasn't he
he was
number
number
one?
one. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
a few years ago. He was on the top list, and Putin's not up here. He should be, but no one has any idea how to calculate that guy's wealth. That's another story
That's
for
true.
another day. But yeah, I think we'll go into the most ridiculous purchases of the top 10 billionaires soon enough.
Zuckerberg is now 16, so $64 billion. He was definitely over 100 at one time. He's dropped down and then he's come back up a little bit.
So we won't be able to include the thousands of acres he bought in Hawaii where he didn't want anybody to go to the beach. You know about that?
I think I've heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually, that would be a good video as well. The most ridiculous things billionaires have done or tried to do.
Yeah,
like
right.
Mark Zuckerberg trying to stop you from going to the beach. Isn't it like you can walk through the water as long as your feet don't touch sand that doesn't have water on top
So
of it?
there's maritime laws that allow you own it, but the people that are in the water can be there. And you can actually go up onto the beach wherever there's, I think it's 10 feet from high tide, something like that. And you can be onto the beach. But the island where he bought the land, actually, there was a road that was there previously. And he wanted to close down the roads from the locals going to the beach that was there, that was kind of private, secluded, no one really knew about. And the state said, absolutely not. You're going to allow people to use that road. Sorry.
I see.
So people can still use that road. Anyway.
Well, okay, that's the Forbes billionaire list. I think we should revisit some of these topics, especially all the ridiculous yachts and all that stuff. It's super interesting, man. Super interesting. But yeah, that's it for the show today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Obviously, if you are listening on a podcast platform like Apple Podcasts or on YouTube, our long form content, do subscribe. Do give us a 5-star rating on the podcast platforms. Tell your friends about the show. You can also catch our short form content on apps like TikTok, Instagram Reels, and of course, YouTube Shorts. Our handle is @DirtyMoneyShow on pretty much all of those platforms. Thanks for joining me again, Mike.
Thank you for having it.
Cool. And we will see you guys next time with more stories about the sinister side of finance.